Okay, hi. Well, I'm out here today. I'm being very honest. I'm not hiding my injuries with all kinds of extra makeup. As you can see, my eyes are very hard to cover. The black eyes I've received from abuse that they just stay there lingering, and so I didn't put a lot of makeup on today. I kept it really light. I said I just want to be bold and honest. I have on my leg brace. You can see it that my friend Tanya Lambert.
I see the sun now in a beautiful way. Now that you've let me see home.
That's the foot thing. What is it called? Like a shoe thing to keep it from hurting me. It's like a $20 leg brace because it's really expensive to go to the rehabilitation centers. I'm covered, but there's always fees, and then to buy the brace, I'm not covered all the way, I don't think. And then you got to do therapy, and quite honestly, it was 30 years ago, and I don't usually get a lot of good warm reception from my injury because it was in a medical facility that it happened, and it's questioning how and why. It wasn't a good place. I guess I found out afterwards. But so what was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, yes, okay. So I'm showing you a little bit. Oh, my arms. Okay, now I don't usually show this, but my arms are really kind of bad, as you can see right there and right here. And I'm just starting now to get the muscle under here, but the flow has actually been separated from the top arm to the bottom arm. This is all from abuse, and where someone might say, oh, you fatty, this is what happened to you. I don't want someone to feel bad, like, they have to be embarrassed to talk about what happened to them and show what's on them, because a lot of people will say, oh, your eyes are from being old, and then your arms are from being fat, and you know what it's from. I know what it's from. I could feel the oxygen not going from one part of my arm to another, and I started thinking, geez, I'm going to lose my arms. I couldn't even put my arms down on my chair in my home because I could feel the bone in my elbow where the muscle was just gone, and it was such a scary feeling. A lot of times you feel like your arms are just stroking out on you or just doing really dangerous things. So fortunately, I've been able to, I've been doing back bends and putting pressure on my arm. Not like full back bends, but, supported midair. And then practicing putting my arms down. And I've been using the chin-up bar. And I can't do the pull-ups, but I jump up 10 times. And I can still feel the muscles in the front part of my arm, which has really, really changed. Now, this elbow used to be really black, and the line went all the way further than the brown that's showing. And it was just really, really, really hanging. And the worst part was the separation from the arm, which I'm still fighting with. And as you can see, there's probably, that thing sticking out is probably another place where I got an injury. I'd show you my legs, but I feel kind of embarrassed. I have a huge, massive piece of muscle that's hanging out, which, my nurse practitioner had, just called it, like a fat deposit. And it was real small, but I knew it wasn't. I knew it was torn from abuse. And they tried to get me on both sides of my legs. They got me really bad on the left. So the more that I'm exercising, you can see like it's a long muscle now that protrudes, that's fighting to find form, which is the same thing with my head on this side. You can still see it, which my nurse practitioner, I'm glad she noticed that, made note of that. But this is where I got really badly abused. And it wasn't really showing after the worst of it, and my face was just starting to swell in age, and I thought, at that time, this isn't me. And when I could come back enough, because you're suffering from a head trauma, then I really was trying to fight it. So now you can kind of it doesn't show up as much as it did when it first started showing up, and I guess the swelling was coming down. A lot of times, now I still get liquid that comes from my head, and I can kind of choke on it, and I have to be careful when I go to sleep at night. That hasn't been solved too much, but I do elevate myself and hope that I don't sink down and initially die from the liquid going down my throat. But the arms, I am jumping up 10 times. I don't pull myself, but I do hang afterwards, and that was extremely hard when I first started. And now I can do it for a few seconds a couple times, and I'll do the reps of just 10 pulling up and jumping up to a pull-up, jump with my arms up like that, holding on. So eventually what I'd like to do, obviously, is do some pull-ups, but it really does work, and I think I'm blessed that I can do this. Now, I've always exercised, not as much going through the abuse. I would have to walk more. I know some of the abuses don't like you to exercise. It takes down the oxygen and the muscle you get in your body, so if they're trying to do something to you, it's much easier for them for you not to have all that strength flowing through your body on a continuous basis. And I understand even afterwards, it's not like, oh, now my life is straight and clean and I can go out and do all this stuff for myself. For me, anyway, it's not the case. And I really believe that it's not the case, period, because we have such a large amount of, abuse that goes on, even in our country. But I do try to get in what I can get in between, the harassments in my life, I guess you could call it. And I have definitely seen a difference. So I'm really hoping someday I can get well enough, strong enough, that I can take other women who have injuries for any reason, and or they've been injured and their bodies, just kind of beaten down, and get them on some kind of just a routine. I'm limited with my words sometimes, but you just get on a routine so they can end up like me and start feeling the muscle come back, feeling the oxygen flow, so we can talk better, think better. We don't have to go into early old aging. We don't have to, have these names. We're getting old. You're just going to have to be that way. Most people are going to get that, and doctors see things in black and white a lot of the times. I've been lucky because I really opened up and said things a lot of people won't say when I go in there, and I've been just really, I had in the past really pushed it, and I had some good reception where I didn't get like all of what you ordinarily would get. And now I know when you have kids in the home, you can't really do that, and I understand that because, the retaliation factor, you don't want to worry about having your kids taken away. And there's a lot of that with the system when you're going through stuff like this. But I think that's all I was going to say. I'm going to go walk around the park, try to do my Almost Mile today. I did my stretches this morning, and then I'll be doing my rowing later. Today is a me day, so I've been doing a lot of stuff with my podcast and my songs, finishing up my poetry book, so I'm going to do some floor yoga where I can't really stand up a lot for a long amount of time. I think especially while I'm trying to do this self-rehabilitation thing with on my yoga trapeze, and really, I'm seriously pulling my muscles on there. So I will do the floor yoga and then pamper my feet a little bit and try to get a little bit of walking in. So I just hope that this helps somebody. I'm trying to be as straightforward and as informative as I can. So stay blessed and enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Hi, I wanted to add in here too about my hair, because as you can see, like, I'm still fighting to have my hair grow back in. I have Hashimoto's, which I believe I got from abuse. And of course, when your body's just kind of staggering, you're going to have that as well. But I've been taking 5,000 of biotin, and of course, eating healthy and exercising and everything, and trying to keep the stress out of my life as much as I can. I think it's doing pretty good. But I did want to mention, you can definitely see when I bend my head down that I'm struggling, but I think it's doing pretty good. So that was another thing that I really wanted to mention. Sorry about that. I know a lot of us, we have so many situations, and I think the hair is one of them. So stay blessed.